There is a place inside every strong man that no one has ever entered. It isn't in his house. It sits deeper than that. It's where he keeps everything he quietly decided no one else should have to carry. Call it a room. That's the closest shape for a thing that has no shape. And here is what few men will look at straight. The loneliest man isn't the one with no one left beside him. It's the man carrying the whole world on his back. With a door inside him, no one has been allowed through in years. That is where your loneliness lives. That room is what has kept you standing all these years. It was never your weakness. But when the door disappears, a shelter quietly becomes a cell. This video won't tell you about that room. It will help you find it inside yourself and show you how to open the door again before you forget it ever had one. But that room has two states. One makes you strong, one kills you slowly. And here's where almost every man slips. From the outside, the two look identical. Even you, standing on the inside, can't tell them apart anymore. By the end of this, you'll have the test to know which one you're in. Because the price of finding out too late is something you're already paying, right now, without knowing it. You'll see it clearly at the end. The first state, a room with a door. A door means you choose who comes in, when, how far. The core is still yours, and you hold the key. That's self-possession. That's real strength. The second state, a room sealed shut. No door. You don't remember where the key is. Maybe you forgot there ever was one. The core is still there, but now it holds you, instead of you holding it. You stop owning the room. The room starts owning you. The difference between the two isn't the wall. Both have walls. The wall is right. You need it. The difference comes down to one thing, the door. And this is why you never catch the moment the door closes. It doesn't slam. A door like this never slams shut. It closes one notch. One time you wave off a real question. One notch. One time you say, "I'm fine," just to end it. Another notch. No single notch is big enough to call a decision. Then 10 years later, the door is locked tight, and you'd swear you never locked it. That's how it works. A hinge that rusts, not a door that slams. You didn't wake up behind a locked door. You locked it slowly, one deflection at a time, over 20 years. Now the test. There are two. Run them on yourself as you listen. The first test is your own silence. You still call your quietness strength. Check that. Some silence is a choice. You could speak, and you choose not to. That's strength. Some silence is a reflex. You don't know how to open your mouth anymore. That's a scar wearing strength's coat. Next time "I'm fine" leaves your mouth before you've even thought about it. Stop for half a second. Ask, is this me choosing, or is this the lock snapping shut on its own? The answer tells you which state you're standing in. The second test is sharper. The last time you let someone all the way in, not standing at the threshold, but actually inside, because you chose to open. When was it? If you have to think to remember, that thinking is your answer. A working door doesn't make you search your memory for the last time it opened. If you have to search, it's been jammed a long time. Before you turn on yourself, hear this straight. You didn't seal that door because something in you is broken. A boy who brings his fear out of the room and gets met with, "You're fine, shake it off," or with silence, learns fast, pack it away. So he builds a place to keep it, alone. That's a smart boy, adapting exactly right. It's not your fault. But that door now only opens from the inside, which means only you can open it. No one can pry it for you. And there's a reason the stronger the man, the tighter the door. The better you carry, the more the world rearranges itself around never having to worry about you. People stop asking the man who always has an answer. People stop catching the man who never falls. Your own competence strips away every hand from the outside, that might have pried that door open. A weaker man collapses loud enough that someone is forced to look inside. You never let yourself collapse. So no one looks. Your steadiness doesn't open the door for you. It welds it shut. Now the price. This is where a sealed room becomes something other than a harmless hideaway. A sealed door doesn't just lock you in. It teaches. People knock. The door hands back the same reassurance. They knock again. Same answer. People learn. Your wife learns. Your kids learn. They learn this door gives back nothing real, so they stop knocking. With your kids, the mechanism runs deeper. You don't teach them with the words, "Never show what you feel." No one teaches it out loud. You teach them with what they see every time they knock. They ask something real, you hand back a reassurance to close it off. They learn. Kids read which doors open and which don't. They don't go by what you say. Your kid didn't just stop knocking. He's building a room exactly like it, off your blueprint. Your silence doesn't stop with you. It's an inheritance. You're handing a locked door down one more generation, the same way it was handed to you. And a closed door writes a story in the head of the person outside it, about themselves. Your wife knocked for years. The door never opened. She doesn't conclude, "He has a sealed room." She concludes, "I must not be enough to be let in." Your silence. You hear it as peace. She hears it as a verdict on her worth. You thought keeping the door shut was your private business, bothering no one. It bothers. It just bothers quietly, in a place you never look. And every year that passes, the door gets a little harder to open. The reason isn't the hinge. It's that opening it now means admitting how long it's been shut. The longer you've called your shutdown strength, the more opening it feels like confessing a 20-year lie. So men dig in. They guard the lock like it's their honor. Here's the trap. The very name you gave the room, my strength, is the strongest lock on that door. So the work isn't managing the room better. And don't tear down the wall. That's where almost all advice gets it wrong. They tell you to open up, share everything, let everyone in. Wrong. A core everyone can enter isn't a core anymore. You need that wall. The work comes down to one thing. Leave one door. For one person. Before you forget you ever had a door. Before you open it for anyone. Know what's actually in there. Men assume the room holds something shameful, a secret, a broken part. Almost never. What's in there is deeply human, a fear you never named, a question you've carried since you were young, a tiredness that needs no fixing, just one person to see it. That's why opening the door isn't as dangerous as you think. You're only letting one person see the most human part of you. That's all. 3 rules for keeping that door without tearing down the wall. 1. This door only opens from the inside, always. You've proven your whole life that no one gets in when you don't want them to. Good. Keep that. But it cuts both ways. No one can open it for you either. Not even the one who loves you most. Their arm is tired. Don't wait for your wife to knock again. This move is yours. 2. Choose one person. 1. There's someone in your life who has never seen inside. They wanted to, you just never opened. Give them something small and true. 1 sentence will do. "I've been feeling a little lost lately." That's enough. The part you're sure will disappoint them is usually the exact part that lets them finally reach you. A door cracked 1 inch is still an open door. 3. When the last person stops knocking, you'll feel relief. Don't trust that relief. The relief when no one's asking you to open up anymore. It isn't peace. It's the sound of you winning the one war you should never have wanted to win. The fight to never need anyone. Next time you feel lighter, because finally no one's asking, mark it. That relief is an alarm, not a reward. Now back to the price named at the start. Your father had a room like this too. You were never let in. He never invited you. He took it to the grave, intact, sealed shut, and now you remember him as a good man you never actually met. That's the price, named plainly, remembered, but never known. Your father's room, you can't open anymore. It's too late, but your door is still there, and your kid is standing exactly where you once stood. The difference between a fortress and a home is one door the person inside still remembers he controls. You're strong enough that no one can get in. You proved that a long time ago. The one thing you haven't done, that's the hard one. Open the door for one person and stay standing just as steady as when it was shut. Tonight, plenty of men are reading these exact lines from inside their own room, each one sure he's the only one. If a line here hits something, leave it below. Sometimes just knowing there's a light on in the room next door is enough for a man to put the key in his own lock. Tonight you'll sit back down where you always sit, and the familiar voice will whisper again, "Tomorrow, you're fine. A closed door never hurt anyone." Don't believe it one more night. Keeping a room of your own was never the problem. The problem is the day you forgot it has a door, and that only you can open it. You've spent your whole life proving you're strong enough that no one can get in. There's one strength you've never once tried: opening it. The key is still in your pocket. It was never in anyone else's hand. Tonight, instead of letting the door close one more notch like every other night, crack it 1 inch. Just 1 inch. Enough to remember that door. You can always open it.